Dave and Ashley Willis, and we've been talking about how to have a spirit-filled marriage, and we want to get to your questions. So Dave's going to have our first question today.
Yeah, and we've got some great questions today, so thank you for those who wrote in and shared these. First one says this: I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 boys. My husband comes home from work and is usually tired, but as a mom, it seems my job never ends. How do we work on having a successful marriage while balancing parenthood? Man, that's a good question. And we can relate.
Yes.
We can relate.
I relate to all of
4
that.
little boys. We are so tired.
We are.
Yeah. I'm actually wearing makeup right now just to hide the bags that are under my eyes. So we can relate to the tiredness.
It's exhausting. And, parenthood is such a blessing, but it can really take a toll on a marriage if we're not careful. And I'd say, number one, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional with your time because there is everything in the world to do with your kids, and that's a wonderful thing. But if we don't prioritize our marriage as the parents, then everything and everyone else is going to take precedent. And so I would say every night, put your kids to bed a little earlier than they really want to go to bed and have some time to yourselves. We are in the practice of this, and we have 4 boys, ages 13 to 2. And, they don't always want to go to bed when we say they need to go to bed, but having 30 minutes to an hour together and talking, it has made all the difference in our marriage. And so I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask your husband for what you need. If you're the one carrying all the weight, I know he's working hard too, and it should never become a competition of, well, I'm doing this, so I shouldn't have to do that. Husband and wife should be serving each other all the time. And so do your part to serve one another. And husbands, if you're watching this, man, you are never more attractive to your wife than when she catches you folding laundry, doing the dishes. I'm telling you, we call it chore play. That's right, chore play. It can lead to some good things. But even beyond that, it's gonna just help bring out the best in each other, and it's gonna make more time for one another. Because when you're serving each other, it just binds your hearts together in unity, which is one of the hallmarks of a spirit-filled marriage. The Holy Spirit wants to bring unity in your relationship. And unity happens when you're working together, when you're serving one another, not when you're just dividing everything up as his tasks and her tasks, and you're essentially just living as business partners, each carrying out your own thing. You've got to always be willing to roll up your sleeves and help each other. And I love what Ashley said about putting those kids to bed a little bit early.
Yes.
Turning on the TV and making some microwave popcorn, giving each other a foot rub, and just talking, just connecting. Some of your best date nights might be right there on the couch after the kids are in bed, and you can really unwind and talk. But you have to be intentional about that. You got to make that a priority.
It's so true. So we're going to get to our next question. It says, we've heard MarriageToday talk about how important it is to have a vision for your marriage. We want to have one, but we don't know where to start. Any advice?
Man, that's a great question.
It is.
I think it starts with praying together. Lord, reveal to us what your vision is for our marriage, because we don't want to just throw our ideas at this. We want you, Lord, to direct us. And that's another part of a spirit-filled marriage. Let the Holy Spirit be the one to bring vision and to guide you in vision. And then beyond that, I think it means intentionally talking. You got to communicate about your dreams, about your hopes. What are those dreams and those hopes that God has placed on your heart? What do you see for your family, not only in this season of life, but multi-generationally? And I think that we're too short-sighted when it comes to our marriage and family. God brought you and your spouse together, not only for each other, but he wants to impact generations through the 2 of you.
It's so true. So many families come up with a family mission statement. And I think this is so awesome because once you develop your family mission statement, if there's anything you're deciding on doing as a family, if it doesn't fit in that mission statement, then you shouldn't do it. And that way it really takes things off the table that are a distraction in your life. And it helps you focus on what God has called you to as a couple and as a family. And one way to do that, I know that sounds kind of daunting, is just talk about what are the values that you and your spouse stand for and that you want your kids to learn, and go from there. And keep it simple, because the simpler it is, the more it's easy to kind of say, for this season, we don't need to do this. We need to focus in on what God has called us to as a family.
So true. Define the win. What does winning look like in your family, in your marriage? And then just stick to that bullseye and don't let anything distract you for it. We hope that encouraged you today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.